Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the pre-match chat ahead of the Liverpool versus Newcastle United game later on tonight. 8 o'clock kickoff and it is on BT Sports. All the games throughout this midweek are on BT Sport. We are the latest kickoff, as I say, 8 o'clock at Anfield. I was actually going to the game. I had a ticket and everything, but due to some work commitments, I won't be there. But I am still hoping to be out for the game. I think me and a few mates are going to go to the pub. So let me know down below. Are you going to the game? Are you watching it at home? Are you going into town? Let me know what you are up to. But no doubt it will be a tough game for Newcastle. And at the same time, we are now just over a day away from the end of the transfer deadline. I did a video yesterday talking about some of the options Newcastle have with the final day to go, and one of the big ones coming out through a few different reports today is that Newcastle could well go in for Tielemans, the Leicester midfielder. It's certainly a position that we could do with strengthening going in, well, I say into the new season. The season's already started, but continuing the season with Shelvey injury, with Bruno currently being out and looks like will be unavailable for the Liverpool game later on today, which we will get onto. But generally, I think Tielemans would be a good one to go for. Premier League experienced. I don't really know what's going on at Leicester at the moment. And I would still not rule out a last-minute dash or a last-minute go at Maddison. I just think that the bids we put in first time round were low. And we must have known they were going to get rejected. So what other way do you have to put your interest out there than maybe having a little bit of a flutter with a little bid? Who knows? The Harrison one is still being talked about. If I'm honest, I think some of these big money bids, I say that, who knows? Who knows? Because we thought the Isak one was done, and then out of the blue, we've put in a £63 million bid for the guy, and it's accepted. So, will I rule out Maddison? I think Harrison's a bit too much now. I just think that Leeds aren't going to sell him, but I think, by the sounds of it, Leicester are pretty open to Tielemans leaving and a cut price of around 25 to 30 million. The trouble is, it sounds like half the Premier League are interested, and I just think it's this window. There is so many teams still out there. It's been quite a tough window to work in, and because of that, there are still teams out there trying to grab something at the last moment. If I had to be honest, and Eddie Howe said in his pre-match press conference to the Liverpool game that we are going to talk about in a moment, that he believes that the business is near enough done and that we are still working, but that he doesn't expect too much to get done. But that's what Eddie Howe would have said even if we had 3 players lined up. So I would take that with a pinch of salt. But yeah, 1 day to go. Let's see what we can do. I think if we've got Tielemans in, that will be a great one to kind of seal the deal on the window. And if not, 1 or 2 loans would do it as well. Maitland-Niles, the Arsenal fullback midfielder, versatile, young, Premier League proven. He's surplus to requirements in Arsenal, and if we could just bulk up the squad a little bit, we're going to, as I say, we're going to talk about Liverpool in a second. The Wolves game, we're just a little bit light on the ground in terms of players available and players off the bench. And if we could just add a little bit extra, I think it would really help us this season. But going into Liverpool tonight, let me know your predictions down below for this one. I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest, because Liverpool started the season poorly. We've started the season pretty well. And I genuinely thought, after that 3-3 against Manchester City where we looked great, the next night, Liverpool got stuffed off Manchester United, who had been awful. And I'm thinking, you know what? We're going to Anfield. We've got a big chance here. We could really do something. And I just feel like the cards have just fell, or the dice have rolled, and they've just come out the wrong number, because they've got to beat Bournemouth 9-0. And then we've got some injury troubles. Bruno is understood to be out due to a hamstring injury. It sounds like Maxi's touch and go, late fitness test. If I'm honest, I don't think he'll play either. And we already know that Callum Wilson is unavailable as well. So Could we potentially see Wilson come back for this one? Maybe Maxi could just scrape through and make an appearance, but generally it sounds like we're out our key striker, midfielder and winger. And it would have been a tough game to start, and just because of the way it's kind of come out, it's just bad timing, and it's disappointing because I still think we'll give them a good game. Don't get me wrong, but had we had those players, I think we would have given them a really good game. To add to that, we're still waiting on whether Isak can play. Eddie Howe said yesterday that he is still waiting on confirmation for the work permit as to whether Isak can play, and I hope he can. I think it will make a big difference if he can, and it's not to say that Chris Wood can't put in a good performance, but I just feel like in this Liverpool game, who, yes, they did beat Bournemouth 9-0, but defensively before that, had been all over the shop. They'd been really, really wobbly at the back. Alexander-Arnold seems to have forgotten how to defend, if he ever could. No offence to Alexander-Arnold, but he hasn't started great this season. Even Van Dijk, you know, the player who a lot of people say is the best centre-back in the world, hasn't started the season great, and I just think the way Chris Wood plays, he's not as mobile. And if we could, without Maxi running at Alexander-Arnold, and without Bruno trying to put those passes through, even without Shelvey, not even mentioned him, no Shelvey as well, as I still think is a big loss to this side. Isak can run in behind, he's got the pace, he's got the link-up play, he's got the dribbling ability that we are going to lose from not having St. Max on the pitch. And yeah, I really hope he could potentially feature. The trouble is, Eddie Howe doesn't like to throw players into the deep end, does he? So, even if Isak is fit, would he start him? Let me know your thoughts on that one down below. Do you expect to see Isak later on tonight? In terms of Liverpool, they are having their own little mini injury crisis at the moment. I do expect the same side who beat Bournemouth 9-0 to start against Newcastle, and that still includes Salah, Diaz, Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk, Alisson. I mean, generally it's still a very good side, but you look at their bench. I mean, they brought on James Milner, ex-Newcastle player, who is captain reliable, but isn't adding that much. And then you talk about the youngsters they brought on. They brought on Bobby Clark, Lee Clark's son, ex-Newcastle Academy graduate. But so generally, they were bringing on youngsters from the bench, so it is going to be 11v11, which is why it's disappointing that we can't have some of our best players on the pitch, because I thought it would be a really big fight to see who can control that midfield. They don't have Núñez. He's still suspended for this one, but Firmino really showed what he could do against Bournemouth. And generally, I think the big thing for us is trying to get through that first 10, 15, 20 minutes. Don't concede. Hold it tight. I mean, you talk about Liverpool winning 9-0. They scored 2 goals in the first 5-10 minutes. And then from that point on, it was free and easy. They can do what they want. You know, if we can put them under pressure and really press and don't let them get that early goal, don't let them get that cushion. We've saw what they've done at the start of this season, and I think they're definitely there to get got at. So I'm really hoping we do put the pressure on, we do go for it. One of the big strengths of Newcastle is our defence right now. There's some people online saying that they don't think Botman's looked very good. If you're one of those people, let me know down in the comments, because everyone has their own opinion, but for me, I think he's looked great. Let's not forget how old he is as well. You know, you talk about youngsters like, well, even Longstaff's still referred to as a youngster. To be honest, Kel Watts, for example, we've obviously sent him out on loan. Botman's younger than him, and he's playing in a Premier League side. You know, he's got so far to go. He's still at the very start of his journey. So even if you think, oh, he's not been quite as good as I hoped, he's got so far to go, and he's only going to get better and better. But for me, I think he's not lost an aerial duel yet, which is incredible. I expect it to be a back four. I don't think Eddie Howe will go back 5 against Liverpool. I think he will press and he'll attack and he'll do what we did against Manchester City. You think about that Manchester City game, we had a period of about 50 to 60 minutes in that game where we were all over them and we were 3-1 up. And if we can just hold on from the start of the game, don't concede early, keep it tight at the back, Trippier will be on, he'll tell everybody what to do, keep everyone cool, calm and collected for the first 10-15 minutes. And then we can try and have that, what we had against Manchester City through the end of the first half, start of the second half. We held the game for like 50, 60 minutes, and it's obviously going to be very tough to do against an elite Liverpool side with players like Salah who can score from nowhere. That's the thing. We're defensively strong. Attacking-wise, I think we might struggle because of the fact that Maxi's out, no Wilson, no Bruno. There's just a lot of players that aren't there. If you're looking at us having a front line of potentially Fraser or Murphy with Wood and Almiron, it's not a prolific strike force, is it? And as much as their defensive displays haven't been great, I think we're going to struggle to put the ball in the back of the net. And then you've got their side. I know Salah did pretty much nothing in that Bournemouth game, but I would not put it past them turning around on a sixpence and scoring a goal. Like it's that easy for them to score. We are going to have to be at the top of our game defensively. It'll be interesting to see what we do in midfield as well. I think Longstaff didn't have his greatest game. I will be interested to see whether we could see Anderson maybe come in, but generally I think the lineup will stay pretty much the same as the game against Wolves, except without Maxi. And look, we played against Wolves with that side and had the majority of possession. So we didn't have Wilson, we didn't have Bruno, but we had more possession. So it's not saying that we can't do it. I think it's just going to be tougher against a very good Liverpool side. And as I say, we need players to step up. We need Longstaff to come in and have a good game. Now, there is actually a statistic that when Trippier has started a Premier League game, we haven't lost. Let's hope that remains tonight. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like, subscribe. If you haven't already, I will be out later on. I might do a little vlog, but I'll definitely be doing the instant reaction after the game. So subscribe. Do not miss my instant reaction. Hopefully I'll be smiling. But we'll have to see how it goes. And let me know your predictions down below. Let me know your thoughts on the final day of the transfer deadline. Can Newcastle get something over the line at the very last moment? I don't know whether we'd hear much between now and the game later on tonight. I think it's probably going to be a big day tomorrow. But we will wait and see. Alright guys, thanks for watching. And I'll catch you later.